What's up, guys? Welcome back to Texas Young Guns, another episode. You ever, when you own an RV or motorhome, ever just think that you're constantly just dodging bullets? You know, we had that electrical fire with Stella that I'll link the video below. But man, you constantly are worrying about it, and man, we found something. Well, I'll just show you. Alright, so we are at the breaker box. So we were going down the road and we would notice that every 20 to 30 minutes our front AC would cut out. Now we knew when we bought the RV from PPL Houston that we had a loose breaker, at least that's what they told us. So when we got it to the house, heck, I figured, well, let's just replace the breaker. Well, what I found was not just replacing a breaker. And it's actually much scarier than just replacing a breaker. So here we are, I've cut power. I'm gonna start pulling these breakers. I pulled the breaker boxes off the loose one, and this is what I found. And this is all that's left. It pretty much disintegrated. Obviously this is a big red flag. So now I'm gonna show you the actual bus bar that it was hooked up to. So check it out. I don't know how well you can see. But you see how the bus bar is pretty well ate up. Not ideal. You can actually see in the bottom the heat that was generated from that breaker. So I know a lot of you are yelling at me right now because it may not just be the breaker, it may be something on this particular one. It's the front AC, it might have been the AC, and you might be right, but you'll be comforted to know that I have since replaced the front AC. We needed to anyways. We needed one more powerful, and I'm about to change the bus bar as well as put a new breaker on it. So I got the bus bar out. Let's look at what we're gonna do to try to fix it and get rid of this almost disaster. So here's the bus bar. Got a light on it, maybe you'll see it better. It's pretty corroded, right? Pretty bad shape. So basically that bad breaker, bad AC, whatever you think it might be, put so much heat, just basically ate up that post away. So I was told that these breaker bars are standard. I'm in some very good Facebook groups, very good group online called Discovery Owners. God, that looks bad. I mean, that just looks terrible. Man. Anyways, I always get distracted by that. But, yes, luckily somebody knew of a place called Colal RV. They sell salvaged RV parts. Unfortunately, I couldn't find just a breaker bar. And even though you would think that this is something standard, but no one has yet to find this. So what I'm gonna do, or what I did rather, is I went ahead and purchased a whole box from Colal, a salvage box, perfect shape. I'll show you here in a second, and I have 2 of these in it. So here's the box, perfect shape, excellent shape actually. Let's open it up. All right, wow, nice of them to actually leave me some breakers too. So as you can see, we have bus bars that are in perfect shape. The only odd thing about this, you can see it's pretty much the same. The material looks different. You can tell that the material's not the same. It might be similar. I don't know if it's picking up on camera, but it's not the same. So it's kind of odd, but it should work. You'll notice that it's riveted in. So what I'm gonna have to do is I'm gonna have to very carefully drill these out. Alright, so we have the new used bus bar. Let's go install it. Alright, so let's get the new bar in there. So the new bus bar, I have riveted it in there, just kind of like the original. Not the same style of rivets, but they're rivets. And I've already pull tested it to make sure that it's snug. And it is. So, without further ado, let's start putting breakers back in. Now this breaker is the one that was next to it, and you can see it's got some heat damage as well. Probably from being in that same area, so I'm gonna go ahead and change this one out. All back together. Let's see what happens. So I'll turn on the main breaker first. Alright. Okay. All the breakers are on. So our little box there is thinking about it. And let's turn the AC on. Now, one last thing I'm going to do before I call it good is I'm actually going to take this temperature gun here, laser gun, and I'm going to make sure after running it for a little bit that none of the breakers are getting overly hot. And I'll be able to see that by pointing this temperature gun to the casings. So let's point at the gun here, turn it on. 91, 92, 92, 91, 91. Cool. So another thing I'm looking for is to make sure that this side, which is the new breaker bus bar, is going to be comparable to the side that's existing, and that'll also give me a clue as to whether everything's okay. Alright, so it's been a little bit. Let's take it one more time. 92. 91. Alright, so it's pretty close, maybe a little bit warmer than the left side by a degree or less. And I'll come back and check it periodically every 30 minutes or so. I'm going to check it a few times, and after a few times it should be good. Alright, and everything here is back together. Still working. Alright guys, crisis averted I think, and now we have a used box that we can use for parts if we ever need to again, so I think it was a win-win. And I'm gonna sleep so much better tonight knowing that that's fixed. Knowing that a potential fire hazard under our bed nonetheless is repaired. Give Kolaw some love. They hooked me up with that box. Of course it wasn't sponsored, I bought it myself. But they did give me a good box there, gave me a bunch of breakers, and we're gonna be on the road this next week, so stay tuned for that. Appreciate you guys tuning in. Remember to like this video if you like it. It tends to get us more views. And subscribe if you like our content. So we'll see you on the next video. Bye.